Okay, systems of equations, both methods that we've learned other than the graphing. Okay, negative 5x plus 3y equals 51. Then we have y equals 10x minus 8. So we have this letter y all by itself in the second equation, so I need to use the base replace method. Okay. This is known as the substitution method. I call it the base replace. Substitution method. Okay, so I write the other equation, the equation that doesn't have the base replace. 5x plus 3y equals 51. So the base in this is y, so we need to put a parenthesis around the y. And then above it, we put what the replacement is, which is 10x minus 8. Cross out the y, now write this out. So you got negative 5x plus 3, now you have a parentheses quantity of 10x minus 8 equals 51. Well, and by the way, I'm finding the xy point, the xy solution. So I distribute 3 to 10x, and then make that plus negative 3 to negative 8. So you drop your plus sign straight down, you take 3 times 10x, which is 30x, and 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. Then you have to add the negative 5x that's out there, because after that's been distributed, you still have that x term. Okay, now you have two x's, but they're on the same side, so you need to combine those by adding. So I take negative 5 plus 30. That's going to be 25, 25x. And then plus your negative 24. Okay, so now x is just on this side. It's got a times 25 and a plus negative 24. So we take out the negative 24 by adding 24. That's going to be 75. So 25 times x equals 75. Then I divide each side by 25. And 75 divided by 25 is 3. So x equals 3. So you put that in the x slot. Now to find the y, you just go into the replace, because y is equal to that replacement. So you put 3 in for x, and you take 10 times 3 minus 8. So 10 times 3 is 30, then 30 minus 8 is 22. Okay, next problem, we have x plus 4y equals 17, so there's no letter by itself there. The x is not by itself, it has a 4y added to it. Now over here, looks like you got the y by itself. Okay, so that's your base, and that's your replace. So that results in me applying the substitution method. Okay, so I've got xy here. So I write out the other one, x plus 4y equals 17. You need to get a 1 in front of the x. Both these x and y should have coefficients. Okay. So y is the base, so I put a parenthesis around the y again. Okay. And above it I put the replace expression of x minus 2. So you have 1x plus 4. And then now instead of y, we're going to put x minus 2 into that equals 17. Okay, now we have to distribute our 4 to 1x, and make that a plus negative 2. When I distribute, I always like the plus sign better, so I can just drop it. 4 times 1x is 4x, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Remember, plus negative 8 is the same as minus 8. Then you have the 1x that needs to be added. So your x's need to be combined by adding, so 5x plus the negative 8 equals the 17. So I have it times 5, and you got to take a negative 8 to 0 by adding it, and that's 25. So 5 times x equals 25. So 25 divided by 5 is 5, that's x again, x equals 5. And to solve for y, you put 5 in for x. 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, so y equals 3. Okay, next page, 3x minus y equals 30, negative 3x plus 7y equals 6. So we don't have anything by itself, so we cannot use the base replace. We have to apply the elimination method. That's when you line up your columns. So you got your x's, put a 1, you got your y's, and then your constants are over here. Now in the elimination method, either the x's or the y's have to add to 0. So we have the same term right there, and they're opposites, positive and negative. So if I add those, that takes me to 0x, okay? Now over here, it's negative 1, 1 plus 7. That's going to be 6. Remember, you're always adding here. Plus 6y. And then 30 plus 6 is 36. Take out the 0x. You don't need that anymore. So you have 6 times y equals 36. You divide by 6. And y equals 6. So you put that in your y. Now you write your first equation, 3x. I would make that minus 1y a plus negative 1y equals 30. So then when I go to put that 6 in for the y, I know I'm taking negative 1 times 6. So negative 1 times 6 is negative 6. Put that up above there. So now you write 3x plus negative 6 equals 30. So you got times 3 plus negative 6. You add 6 to each side, and that's 36. And you divide each side by 3, and x equals 12. So 12, 6. Okay, 4x minus 3y equals 8, nothing by itself there. 5x minus 2y equals negative 11, no variable by itself there, so I apply the elimination method to solve the problem. It's not going to go as quick as the top one did, though. So you got 4x and 5x, you have negative 3 and negative 2. Remember, I'm trying to get these to add to 0. Well, 4 plus 5 is 9, and negative 2 plus negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5, so neither one of those add to 0, so you need to do your multiplying, okay? Set up your 6 dots, and what do you have? And you're going with the x's to try to get those eliminated. So you have a 5 here, so you're going to multiply the top equation all by 5. You have a 4 here, you're going to multiply everything in the bottom by 4. Now you come over here and rewrite it. So 5 times 4x is going to be 20x. 5 times negative 3y is going to be negative 15y. And then 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 4 is 20x. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8y. And then negative 11 times 4 is negative 44. Now try this again, okay? The same term is right there, but they are both positives. To add them to 0, you need to make one of them into a negative. So negative 4, positive 8, positive 44. Now you'll get your 0x, okay? Then negative 15 plus 8 is negative 7. And then 40 plus 44 is 84. Take out the 0x, it's gone. Now you can solve for y. So you divide each side by negative 7. And 84 divided by negative 7 is negative 12. So y is negative 12. Now to solve for your x, just use the very first equation. 4x plus negative 3y equals 8. So y is negative 12. So now find the product and multiply negative 3 times negative 12. That's 36. So we have 4x plus 36 equals 8. So I subtract 36. 8 minus 36 is negative 28. Then you divide by 4. And then negative 28 divided by 4 is negative 7. Okay, next problem. We got a y by itself, so we have a base. We are using the base replace method, not the elimination method. Okay. So, substitution method. So you write your other equation, x plus 2y equals 1, put a 1 in front of the x. Y is the base, so you're parenthesizing whatever the base is, and you're going to replace it with 2x minus 7. So you have 1x plus 2, 2x minus 7 equals 1. Okay, so you're going to have to distribute, make that a plus negative. So I always like to know what I'm multiplying by here. Okay, so that's why I'm making it plus negative. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. And then you have the 1x that you have to add. So now you combine your like terms of x. That's going to be 5 plus a negative 14 equals the 1. So we add 14. 1 plus 14 is 15. Divide by 5, and x equals 3. Okay, so I put a times dot so I know the operation of 2 and 3. So 2 times y is going to equal 2 times 3 plus 7. Or minus 7, my bad. Negative 1. Okay. 8x minus 7y equals negative 3, and then 6x minus 5y equals negative 1. So you have to use the elimination method. You do not have a variable by itself. Okay, so I draw my columns. That's not going to be the same. There's no way to get that the same unless you multiply. There's no way to get that to be the same unless you multiply, so you're multiplying. So go for the x's. So you have a 6 here. So you're going to multiply the rest of this equation by 6 to maintain the balance. And 8, 8, and 8. So 6 times 8x is 48x. 6 times negative 7y is negative 42y. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. Now, 6 times 8 is 48x. Negative 5 times 8 is negative 40y. And the negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. Now redraw your columns. Now you have the same term there. You just need to make them into opposites. Okay? Because that's right there. That's not going to add to 0. But if I make 48 negative, it will. Well, then the 40y is positive and the 8's positive. So there's your 0x. So negative 42 plus 40 is negative 2y, and then negative 18 plus 8 is negative 10. So 0x is gone. Then I divide each side by negative 2, and y is equal to 5. Okay, now to find x, use your first equation. 8x minus 7y equals negative 3. So put 5 in for your y. Remember to make that 7 a plus negative so you can know exactly how it's going to be multiplied. It's going to be multiplied as negative 7 times 5. Negative times a positive is a negative, and then 35. So now the y is gone. You have 8x plus negative 35 equals negative 3. So you have times a negative. So plus 35 plus 35. Negative 3 plus 35 is 32, then divide by 8. 32 divided by 8 is 4, so you got 4, 5. Okay, next problem. No base variable there, none there. Draw your columns and you're using elimination. Okay, I don't have the same here or here, so I need to multiply. So -4, I'll multiply the top by -4. I'll multiply the bottom by 3. -4 times 3 is -12x. -4 times -5 is positive 20y. And then -4 times -7 is positive 28. On the bottom, -4 times 3 is -12x. 7 times 3 is 21y. And then 8 times 3 is 24. Now, right there, these are the same, but they're not going to add to 0 with two negatives, because adding them this way gives you -24. So you need to make this a positive, then you'll get your 0x. But then you got to make sure you make the 21 negative and the 24 negative. So 20 plus -21 is -1y. And then 28 plus -24 is 4. So get rid of your 0x, that doesn't need to be there. You divide by -1, and 4 divided by -1 is -4. Now to solve for x, write your first equation. Y is -4, so get this y out of there. And put -4 in, make that 5 a plus negative. So -5 times -4 is 20, positive 20, so you have 3x, and positive 20 equals -7. So you got a times 3 and a plus 20, so you minus 20 first. -7 minus 20 is -27. You divide by 3. -27 divided by 3 is -9. Okay, final problem. X plus 2y equals 13. Nothing by itself there. We have a by itself right there. We go back to the base replace method. So you write your other equation, the 1x plus 2y equals 13. Okay, so the base x is, now the x is parenthesized because that's your base, and you put the 2y minus 7 over it. Now you'll solve for y first, so you got a 1 times the parentheses 2y minus 7. Now don't just put equals 13, because you see after the parentheses you have to add the 2y. Now you're good to go. Make it plus negative. So you drop that plus down. 1 times 2y is 2y. 1 times -7 is -7. And then you have plus 2y. Okay, you add the 2y and the 2y, because they're on the same side of the equation. That's 4y plus -7 equals 13. You take out your -7 by adding it. That makes 20. Divide by 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5, so y is equal to 5. Okay, so now I can find x. 2 times 5 minus 7 is 3. 10 minus 7 is 3.